Hello, everybody. My name is Rita Ward. For those who doesn't know me, I'm a owner of Sungate Center, and today I'd like to introduce our guest, Daina Vaiciute, an energy healer from Lithuania. Hi, Daina.
Hi, hello.
And for those who have not been through amazing modality, who is not realigned yet, we're gonna talk about it a little bit, and may go deeper into energy healing itself. How does it help people? How people transform through energy? I'm still vibrating after our third level class yesterday, this weekend. Amazing energies, amazing people, and all of them opened up to receive new energy and to be transformed through just an amazing thing. So, Daina, just for those who maybe doesn't know about spiritual realignment at all, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, spiritual realignment is a modality which was revealed or opened 30 years ago at the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem. It happened to our teacher currently residing in Germany, in Berlin, Piotr Lukunovich. So he discovered this method 30 years ago. And for a while, it has been applied firstly in German-speaking countries, and after a decade or so, it started spreading into other countries of Europe. And what happens during spiritual realignment? Without any touch, without any manipulation of the physical body, we can experience certain transformations happening in our final dance expression. If we have tilted shoulders, tilted shoulder blades, tilted pelvis, scoliotic spine, axial twist of spine, so those kind of deformations, which are on blockage level, they are immediately released, and our skeleton gains more symmetrical and aligned structure all of a sudden, without any interference, any physical manipulation.
That sounds really interesting. What's your personal experience with realignment? We always say that we heal ourselves first, and then we can help other people. So, what happened with you?
I was looking for a way out of my own situation, and well, I would say that the first group of healers in Lithuania that graduated with our teacher, so all this group was a kind of looking a way out of their situation, of their health issues. And traditional methods were inefficient or insufficient to help. We had doctors in our group as well, so medical doctors, family doctors. So this was not only kind of totally out of field of medicine, but if everybody looked for something alternative in addition to whatever was already in at our hands. So also just try to find out the solution for my hip problem. I had my right hip kind of slight dislocation with certain movements, and no treatment could ever help me, and it started getting worse and worse within years. And finally, maybe I got to the right place. I got to spiritual realignment, and just after a single session, my hip just got fixed, and I have no problems, no issues. It's 9 years from that moment now. It will be 10 years this year, and just no issues at all.
That's wonderful. It's. Do you think it's a miracle? Do you really yourself, you believe in miracles?
So to me, yeah, to me, it really is a miracle. It is up till now. At first, I couldn't believe it when I went to the hall. It was a big conference hall in one of Vilnius hotels where our teacher was offering the healing days, and just what I saw in that conference hall and massage tables, I couldn't believe my eyes. I thought that it's an optical trick, that it's an illusion. And I asked for the permission to observe what was going on. And I looked maybe at 70 people who were being realigned until my critical mind got through it. And just then I got the realignment myself and experienced that change myself. But it took a while for my mind to get through it. Even if I had Reiki at that time and I was a kind of familiar with subtle energies, with those transcendental energies, my critical mind couldn't believe in transformation or in transition without any interference physically, without any manipulation, without any touch, without any pulling or pushing or some other kind of direct impact. So it looked like a miracle, and still it is a miracle because it happens. It happens without any manipulation.
On your teacher, on Piotr Elkonovich's side, it says visible transformation through spirit. So it what's involved really in this visible transformation that we can see when you measure physical body, but in reality, I don't know if reality exists and what the reality actually is. It's all Maya illusion, right? So in your own vision, in your own feelings, how would you describe? Is it happens through you, or is it's happening through your spirit? Well, how really? If you can explain it, if the explanation is even possible.
Well, it happens in, well, this transformation is multifaceted. As our teacher said, like, well, realignment happens through the times, and just it happens through all the spheres of our manifestation, because we are not only our physical body, not only our dense expression, and whatever we express through our body is the accumulation of what we did, what we haven't done, what we thought. Our physical body takes a certain expression according to those factors. And if we are creating something, our body manifests it in a way. And if we remove those programs which created certain blockages in our body, all of a sudden the transformation becomes visible in our physical expression. But it happens throughout different fields of our manifestation. And what concerns the healer, so the healer and the healing, well, it's illusionary in a way. And the patient is also, whoever receives the healing is also illusionary in a way. And when we become just one in that zero level, all transformations become possible. And we come out of that level zero with a changed physical expression. But this change is immediate because it does not happen in our understandable span of time. It happens in a part of a second. And just we come out of this moment with a different expression, different physical expression. Even the energy levels of our individual atoms change, and our macro structure also, like, well, gains a different structure.
So, would be right to say that actually energy going through the healer into the patient, or we observe the healers absorb that energy, and well, we are saying that we heal ourselves. By healing ourselves, we're healing others.
Well, this is the thing that some just regard as a paradox. Well, during realignment, energy does not come from me; it comes throughout the space, and transformation happens. But if the healer notices something in a patient, so it means that the same problem is in the healer, because the healer wouldn't recognize it. And the healing is like always happening to yourself. You heal yourself and the world heals, because you cannot impact the world. You can heal only yourself. The change is always internal. You make your internal change, and whatever you assume as your outer world, whatever the illusion is, it also changes. You change yourself, and whatever is outside you changes also. So in those terms, we are kind of in oneness, and we come out of that moment together with a different quality, which is not reflected in us as compression gained through our years of manifestation in our dense matter, in our body mind. For some time we are out of body mind, because at that moment there's nothing to do, there is nothing like happening, and all of a sudden we come out of that moment in a new quality, experiencing this change physically. So we can just say that this change, this transformation, it is spiritual, because it does not originate kind of in our physical matter. It originates somewhere that gives the impact on our physical expression, because our physical expression is like our last expression, and it reflects that change, whatever it happens.
Oftentimes we would hear or from other or from teachers, or we may know that all all that happening with us or in us are being programmed. So those blocks are in our heads, bodies. Is it possible to clear our energy field, our bodies from those blocks, to remove and just let the transformation happen? Is it easy? Is there different modalities, or can you go deeper and explain what's happening with those blocks, those programs?
Yeah, the modalities might seem to be different, but they lead to the same expression, to here and now. Because if we live in our past, live in our memories, we are caught in a program. The program is playing in our background, and we are trapped in this program. And it prevents somehow from being here and now, because our mind is a very powerful tool. With our mind, we can transfer to some previous moment and live it over again emotionally. Then we kind of create certain expressions in our body, that there might be a feeling in our stomach or in our throat, or we become kind of involved emotionally. And in reality, it's the pure creation of our mind, because the past moment does not exist anymore. It's the past. It's the past. It's not real. It's just imaginary. And whatever our mind creates, our body takes it as real. And the same about the future moment. We project future, we have different fears about the future, but nobody knows what comes next. We can assume something, but it's also the product of our mind.
Mm-hmm.
There's no future, there's no past. The only reality that it's this moment. And our mind prevents us from being in this moment by driving us either to some moments of the past or some projections of the future. So, this method and this healing maybe expresses, the essence of being in this moment. Because in this moment, like when there's no mind, There's no mental activity. Nothing happens in the mind. We cannot think of anything too rational in one small part of a second. The transition in our physical body happens, but it's not a mental activity. It's not a belief, but it's direct experience. It's direct experience happening in this moment.
From your experience, what happened with your clients, patients during the transformation, during the realignment, beside the physical transformation, beside that visible that we can really see and measure?
Yeah, well, our mind wants to see the transformation which is provable, measurable, and detectable in other ways. So it's kind of a very natural expression of our mind. So for our mind, we always document certain things like what change in pelvis position and like what change in like alignment of the length of legs. So that this kind of change is provable, detectable, and we always present this proof to the mind. But there are also some subtle changes of our DNA. For example, our DNA changes throughout our lifetime, but we experience a slight transition, a slight transformation in our DNA structure. So, which is, well, this aspect is related to our consciousness. We just change our vibrational pattern and start recognize other things that universe offers to us, because whatever we cannot perceive what's not in us. If we develop this inner recognition, the universe opens with new gifts. We just recognize different quality in front of our eyes, because we change internally and the whole world changes. It resonates our internal vibration, and we manifest our outside world differently through this inner recognition, because recognition always happens inside. There is nothing outside. It happens in us, and we just are like, we look into the world with new eyes. We see different quality there because our inner quality has changed. So we experience this change through realignment as well. Sometimes people do not relate it to it, but I see like, my clients, how their lives transformed and changed. So it's kind of, achieving through this inner change, achieving a new quality of manifestation through body and mind. In the smile, we find new aspects. We get new gifts. We open those gifts to ourselves.
Well, that sounds beautiful. Can you share any real example what happened with people who you realigned either here or back home or other countries? I know you're traveling now a lot. So, and what ages are, is there any limit in the age, and how many times realignment should be done? Is it just once, or can be done more often, few times?
The realignment actually happens. It happens once in the lifetime, because the transformation happens in those terms that whatever we accumulated in blockage level throughout our existence in the dense matter, it happens up to the present moment. You are released from that kind of blocking energies accumulation, and you don't have it up to now. So this, in those terms, realignment happens once in your lifetime. But the healing session, it can be, which follows the realignment, I mean, it can be repeated upon the need. But realignment, you need realignment just once in your life. It happens, and this transformation in the physical expression is stable. Sure, our body transits through certain changes, but it's natural of our body. Our body won't last forever. So this is the natural change. But in some aspects, we return to our perfect expression, and through enhancement of the energy flow in our central energy axis, we can like induce the self-healing power to its optimum in ourselves and just express a different regenerative power in ourselves, and we just have better health, and we can just manifest more efficiently through our bodies.
So there is no limit in age.
There's no limit in age. Yeah, I have realigned small babies, just 5 or 6 months, and well, my oldest patient at that time, she was 94. So it happens to everybody. Whoever has a spine can be realigned. Even animals or pets, they can be realigned as well. These animals, the dogs and cats and horses, they receive the healing with joy, and they are really happy to experience it, and they show it even with their attitude or behavior. They are happy to receive this healing. They're not limited by a critical mind. They are very open, and they're very accepted to this type of healing. So everybody, who has spine, can kind of undergo this kind of transformation, realignment.
Well, and the realignment can be also done in a distance. You don't have to have this person in front of you to
Yes,
use.
realignment can be done through distance, as I do not touch the body, so the body can be somewhere else in another country. So the distance, there are no limitations. Just through distance, well, I cannot measure a body. If I'm not present in the same place where the body is, so just I cannot measure shoulder blades, axial twist of spine, pelvis tilt, length of legs, those kind of things, and then whatever like scoliotic expression or other expression spine has, so I cannot measure it, and I cannot measure these parameters after realignment happens. But it does not mean that realignment is not there. Realignment always happens. Some people are aware about their deformations, and they can kind of recognize the transformation and transition. But as it's subtle, some people even do not feel anything. It depends also on sensitivity to subtle energies, because sometimes people imagine that it should be like a lightning or something, but the energy is very subtle, and the impact of energy sometimes is so subtle that people who are not used to that, they even have no sensations, or there's nothing detectable to their mind, but transformation is there because it's swift. It takes a part of a second to be in your body. So sometimes it's too swift for the mind to grasp it. So in those terms, it's also pertain to mind. Some may think that through distance it does not happen. But it happens there anyway. It happens there. But I cannot measure and present a proof.
All right, sounds good. I have a surprise for everyone. I have someone on the phone who will give some kind of a feedback what happened after the realignment. Lan is on the phone with us, and Lan, hi, how are you?
Good, Rita.
Very nice. So can you um, give your feedback what happened with you during the realignment or after?
Sure, love to. It was a good experience. I think it was approximately 2.5 months ago. I went to um, a workshop at Sungates, and Daina presented, and um, so I had kind of an overview of what it was about, and I decided to give it a go. And I didn't have really a lot of issues, but any opportunity to feel better, and based on the premise that just about everyone has a misalignment, I tried it, and I Dana measured me. There was, I think, a half inch or 5/8 of an inch difference in my legs, and she also measured my shoulders and hips, and there was a slight tilt, and so I went through the process, and I ended up having, in the process itself. It felt as if not a lot happened, but there was a feeling that I was straightening out. And after a period of time, when I got up and we measured afterwards, there was things were more aligned in my shoulders and in my hips, and we also did a leg measurement, and there was a feeling of well-being. And once again, I'm 67 years old, and I take care of myself, and I try to make sure that my energy and circulates well. But whatever this process did, or whatever was within me to help assist this along, the results were excellent. And so a couple months later, I'm still feeling well. It seems like in terms of just energy and any blockages that I might have had, some of that's diminished, and great results. And as also I told my brother about it. He came and had it done, and he's had some serious back injuries and with some spinal fusions, and he was happy with the results, knowing that he has a lot of metal and a lot of things that have taken care of happened to him in the past. So yeah, that's it. I if anyone is looking for this kind of services, I highly recommend it. And it seems like everybody could use it.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Lon, and we'll be in touch. We'll talk later. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, so that was just one feedback, and we really appreciate it. So for those who are here in Chicago area, we would love to see you tonight for presentation at Sungate Center at 6:30 p.m. tonight, Monday, February 3rd. We might even do live broadcast. If you are not around, just look for Sungate Center page on Facebook, and you may see the live feed from the presentation that Daina will do tonight. Thank you, Daina, and we look forward to see and hear more from you. And thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thank you.